M-Dog Gaming.
Welcome, this is M-Dog once again with Hearthstone, and this time we're going to show you a constructed deck that is a hunter deck, heavy hunter with the hunter abilities as well as a bunch of beasts. So this is an easy deck to make. You can be fairly successful with it. It tends to be hit or miss on its success depending on your card draw and then what type of opponent you're facing. But again, it's not a bad deck and it's not hard to make because you just go through and you only want to add things that are beasts or affect beasts. I mean, for the most part, that's what I've done. I've got a Hogger in here. Let's actually go. I don't think there are any legendary cards that count as a beast. We've got two dragons, Nyxia and Deathwing. There is a Core Hound here that we could have taken instead of Hogger, because Hogger is not considered a beast, and I don't think the Nulls with Taunt that he summons are either, although I'm not 100% sure on that. So it may be a better play to get a 9/5 beast out there that is potentially buffed by all your abilities. And if you look at the range of this deck, it's another deck that's got a lot of low mana cost cards in it. So it might be interesting. I mean, if there was one card we would be comfortable in taking out, it's very difficult to find one though, because they play off each other so interestingly. We could take a Snake Trap off. I have seen Snake Trap come in handy though. Let's try that though. Let's take off Snake Trap and add one. That way we've just done a little change to the deck for you to see. So let's just do a match here. Again, we're kind of up there a little bit in the ranking since the reset of ranking last week. So playing unranked would probably be more appropriate, but let's just see what happens here. This is, again, I think if you're getting into this game, you get a few cards unlocked from either purchasing the card packs, or what I would recommend instead of purchasing card packs is just playing the arena matches. It's such good experience of drafting cards, thinking about card synergy, and then just playing and seeing what your opponents do as you're playing and how they respond to you. And even if you go 0 wins and 3 losses, as long as that's fun for you, which it's fun enough for me that I don't mind doing it. As long as that's fun for you, you get a card pack every time you play an arena match. So it's only 50 more gold in comparison to unlocking buying a card, so I think it's the way to go. Alright, and so starting out here against a druid who's going to have 1 attack, 1 armor anytime he uses his ability. He's going to throw out a taunt here. On turn 1, you see we have a 1 card, but it has a very important bonus for our other beast. We actually don't want to play that this early. We probably want to wait till at least turn 2 and pair it with the buzzard, but probably we'll save it for turn 3 actually. So the only question is, do we want to use our mana card and do 2 cost here, or use our mana card and summon a buzzard, hope that they can't take out the buzzard. We've got 2 buzzards up. Let's do that instead of running the risk of getting too far behind in the board control here. So we know that at the very least we can summon another beast, which will allow us to get another card draw, and that's the purpose of these early on. They're not going to survive very long, but at least they give you another card or 2 in your deck. So that's a good play. It only cost him 1 mana, and he's able to take this out with no beast being summoned. So now we can either attack him. What we'll probably do is actually play the secret. We don't want to do this again with the buzzard. That kind of left him out there in the lurch, and just in case he's got another trick like that, let's just wait a turn. On turn 3, we'll do a random companion. It'll either give us something with charge to take that out, or it may give us the bear with taunt. I'm not sure if there's a third option. I just remember 2 from the couple times I've played with this card. And he's just testing the water there to see if he can figure out what this trap is. So now we're at 3. We technically could draw this and then draw this, and we'd have 2 beasts out, but let's go ahead and do this instead. So we got this. It's a good card for this moment because it takes his taunt off the board. Now we've got a Huffer out here that only requires 2 damage to kill it, so it's very likely that he could do that if he wants to use the resources on it. If I was him, I probably would want to take that out. He'll now use his ability. That Moonfire card is so cheap. I actually don't like it because it only does 1 damage, but it costs him 0 mana. The only good thing for us is he's down to 2 cards if he plays a card this turn besides the Moonfire. Looks like he's possibly not going to. The next minion he summons, whatever it is, if it doesn't have more than 4 health, it will be destroyed. Now we're at an interesting point. We can actually summon a beast and a Timberwolf, or we could summon this and get 2 extra cards. And yeah, he'll be able to take out one of these, but that's hard to pass up on. I think we will do that just because of the card draw. And if we get lucky, then at the very least,
Job's done.
There's a Corehound coming out. We're a few turns away from that. If we get lucky, one of these, maybe even 2, will still be alive on our turn. Probably just 1. With only 2 health at the max, he may have something to just wipe the board, but we'll see. Hopefully it will cause him to use resources that will allow us to have an advantage later on. He has a decent amount of cards back because he didn't use any after using the Moonfire, the 2 Moonfires last turn. But at least we know no more Moonfires are there. So it looks like he's going to take out one of our beasts that gives him an advantage. That probably means he's not going to be able to take out all 3 of them. Looks like we might still have 1 minion left. He still is not summoning a minion. So there's 2 sort of choices here. We could go Houndmaster, and then that's our turn. But that's going to give this 2/2, so it'll have 4 health and 5 attack, and it'll have taunt, which will protect this a little bit longer. Or we could go Animal Companion, hopefully get the one with taunt, and do some damage to him. And that is a tough decision. If we didn't get the one with taunt, it would stink. So we're going to go this direction, and for sure allow us to do 6 damage.
Well played.
And he's in a disadvantaged position unless he has some board clear coming up in his hand that he has drawn or will draw soon. He's getting to be in a rough position. There's only 2 turns left till we're bringing out the Corehound, and if we still have these cards that give us the buff available, both the card draw and the +1 to attack. So let's see, what card did he play? That's going to have 1 health. So unfortunate for us, because it would be even better if he had played a card that was immediately destroyed. That does allow us to take it out with this card if we're willing to sacrifice the buff to everything else. Or we could take it out with this card and leave our taunt at a disadvantage. Okay, so that's interesting play. We'll probably take it out with this one. Unfortunately, that will destroy this card. So now we have the Stranglethorn Tiger, which that means 5 attack next turn because it'll be stealth. Most likely it will be available at least. Or we could summon another companion and throw down some stuff, but it's hard to pass on this kind of damage. 6 damage if that's still available. Plus we're drawing the card, so we're going to do this. Come on, buddy. Let's keep attacking. So again, now we're at Corehound level, which the only thing that might make me wait on putting the Corehound out next turn is if we get one of our minions that give our beasts charge. Because that way we would surprise him with the Corehound, which is going to end up doing like 10 damage at that point, and would just sort of protect us against.
Where shall I strike?
So that's a good play. He still has 2 mana and he's taken out the card that allowed me to continue to draw cards. So that's a good play. So he recovered pretty well from that. We're now sitting at only having a 5/5 minion on the board when we were at a much better position. This is a good card for if he does get back into the match here with some better cards. I think we're going to take a chance here on hoping we get the taunt card. No, but that's decent too. I forget about this one. Leoke. Other friendly minions have +1 attack.
Well played.
So we can now do 5 damage with one of these, or we could put this trap down and do 2 damage. I think that's what we'll do. Using our special ability and attacking there. So now that he's out of stealth, he's vulnerable. We don't have a taunt, but that's okay. We're racking up the damage and we're still holding back on the Core Hound. Which could have probably, if we had known this is what was going to come out, we would have just played Core Hound just to have the motley crew of a 9 and 5 attack out at the same time. The Druid has some pretty good high-level mana costs available if he has a balanced deck with higher cost cards in it. This is going to have charge, so he can take out this, lower this to 5 mana damage again. So now he can attack twice and take both of them out. Actually, he can't if he goes that way. 6/4. Should have taken this guy out first and then that guy. Oh, I'm sorry. It didn't give him 2 attacks. It gave him +2 to attack. So that was the right play. Perfect time for him to get rid of that secret. It didn't do any damage to him.
Well played.
So now we'll have charge. So we can go 5 and do some damage. And that's going to be a good game. So the Core Hound never came out. And that's a good example of this Hunter deck. If you can have a good start, which, you know, we sacrificed some minions early game, but we forced him to use a lot of resources to get all of those little minions off the board, which in early mid-game, that left us at a place of strength. He was strapped, I think, on which cards to play where. And so it ended up being a good match for us. But again, that Hunter deck is not hard to put together. It's really just about 75% of the Hunter abilities, and then add in a bunch of minions that say Beast on them, and then you're pretty good to go. Hope you.
Bye bye, Nods.